Today we're going to explore the exciting new world of the self-tape. Yes, self-tape. This is fascinating. 4 years ago, taping yourself to send in for an audition or a job interview was basically unheard of. The only way that I was able to go to an audition is if I physically arrived there myself. If the audition was in New York or California, actors literally had to pay money to travel just for a 2 to 3 minute audition. Really? But now, because of the technology, with your cell phones and with the internet and Zoom and YouTube, we have the ability to, for free, tape ourselves in any kind of venue, in any kind of reason we want to. So today we're going to just talk about the basics of self-tape. There's a lot more to it and a lot more that's coming along. We're discovering a lot of more stuff. I'm sure you've probably watched, you can't help it but look at the late night talk show, whether it's Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel, or even with the news, the nightly news, broadcast news. A-list people are struggling trying to deal with this self-tape situation. So it was just kind of thrown upon us because of the COVID-19 and social distancing. So what we're going to talk about today are just the basics for you. What you need to do to get you a decent self-tape that will get you that audition or that job you're interviewing for, or maybe just sending a really beautiful sentiment to your grandmother or relatives during these COVID-19 times, and you want it to be the best quality that you can do. So we're going to talk about some of those things today, the self-tape basics. Now, before we begin, the first thing you have to do is decide what is the purpose of your self-tape. Your purpose. What is your end game? What is your goal? What do you want to achieve from your self-tape? That will determine all of the other things that come along with it. What you wear, how you want to perform, your location, and so forth. So you also want to do that. You also want to decide how you're going to deliver it. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the camera like I'm talking to you right now, one-on-one? Or are you going to play it to the audience as if you're playing a whole crowd of people? You have to make that decision so that you're not vacillating between one and the other. It looks kind of weird, okay? So you make that decision, and also it helps your performance remain more specific and focused. So decide, why am I doing this self-tape? What is the purpose? What do I hope to achieve from that? And then you want to decide how you're going to play it to the audience or whatever it is. So what is the objective of your self-tape? Quality video, a quality performance, and submission. Those are the three things that we want to achieve in our self-tape. Quality video, a quality performance, and submission. Those are our three goals. Okay, well, first of all, where are you going to do it? You got to decide on the location, your home studio as it might be. For some of you, you may be fortunate enough to have a nice home with a den or basement or library or something that you can go into and have some seclusion and some sound in the rest of the house. Or you might be in a little tiny apartment like myself where, you know, it's barely enough room for you. It's so small you have to go outside to change your mind, okay? So whatever it is, you have to adjust to that location, whatever it is, and make the best you can do about it. And this thing is new. This whole self-tape thing is new. The people that are receiving it from you, they know the constraints that people are under, and that you're an actor, for crying out loud, or you're an insurance salesman. You're not a tech person. Why should you have to be able to know all this kinds of stuff, you know? But it's thrust upon you. And you can do it, though, absolutely free, right in the privacy of your home or wherever you are in your office. So don't sweat it, okay? If you don't think that I can't do this, I don't have a degree from, film studios and, UCLA. No, don't worry about that. We're all learning this as we go. Okay, so first of all, you want to get your location. Now, you want to make sure you have the great lighting. Now, I've been fortunate today that not only do I have the lighting in the office here, but also there's some sunlight coming in. Some of the best light is the sunlight. So if you can catch that, especially like early in the morning, if you're facing east and the light's coming directly, that's great for good lighting. Otherwise, you could have a ring light like this. If you see the ring light that you can get, and it ranges from $30 to even more expensive things. And this particular ring light you see here, it has attachments so that you can attach your phone to it and other devices, more than 2 or 3 different phones and devices on it. So you can have the ring light around you. That gives you a nice even lighting around you so that there are no shadows, and that's very important. Okay, so your lighting, that's very important where you're at. Then, of course, you want to make sure that there are sufficient electric outlets. Make sure you have enough electric outlets because, yes, sure, you can use your phone and it has batteries and you charge it up and everything, but you can get so into what you're doing 5, 6, 10 takes, whatever, you go into the bathroom, coming back, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you've run out of juice, and in the middle of some of your best takes, the phone goes off on you, right? Or your camera goes blank on you. So make sure that you have outlets so that you can plug into it. If the outlets are, if you're in a place where they don't have maybe 1 or 2, it's an old house, it's not up to date, old apartment, then make sure you have extension cords, okay? So that you can make sure that your phone or your camera is plugged up and has total power all the time. It won't fade out on you at the crucial moments, right? So make sure you check out the electrical outlets. Also, the time allowed. Okay, whatever space you're in, it's your space. You know what it is. You know what time the kids come home. You know what time your spouse is going to come in. You know what time the washing machine is going to kick in at the wrong moment and start making all this noise. So make sure you have the time you need in that space to do what you need to do without interruption. Okay, and then the backdrop. Now I have just a piece of fabric. Here you could have a sheet. You don't want white because it kind of plays some little tricks with the light on you and behind you. You may look like a silhouette, behind you. So gray or blue backdrop is the best, or off-white like this. Beige is a good color for a backdrop, or blank wall. As long as that blank wall also the color is not just loud white color. A blank wall is great, or you can also get backdrop paper, seamless backdrop paper that you can kind of tape and have that coming down behind you on a roll. Have like a stand, sort of like what I have here. I have a stand with a stick through it, and I just took safety pins and pinned the fabric to the little rod that goes between, so it's just hanging down behind me. I even have some tape on here to kind of pull it so there's a little taut, so there's not any particular overt wrinkles or anything like that. So a seamless backdrop paper, that'll work for you, right? Now, the equipment. What equipment are you going to use? Are you going to use a HD camera like the one I'm using now, as you see here? So you see there's a HD camera. Also, you'll notice that it is on a stand. Handheld will not work for you, okay? Unless you're doing some kind of documentary where you're like, an investigative reporter out in the field in Afghanistan running in a firefight, which looks real, exciting, jostling. No. You want to stand so that your camera is stable, okay? And there are all kinds of different stands. You see here, the stand that I have, the stands I'm using here is a small stand, but you can get some big industrial cameras stands as well. And you can Google and find the range of those cameras, stands that you need that will satisfy your purpose and fit your particular piece of equipment. But by all means, use some kind of a stand to make sure that your video is stable. Smartphone, you can use a smartphone. You see here, it's a smartphone on the stand with a smartphone holder. So it holds the cell phone. So you have those, and they have all kinds of different prices. You could check them maybe at Best Buy, or just Google it. Amazon, I'm sure, probably has it. And or the ring light, as I mentioned too, for having total light. So that kind of equipment, and a microphone. A microphone, like now here you notice I have a microphone with a digital recorder. I do that in order to have redundant sound. The camera, your smartphone, again, watch, as you're watching television, just about everybody, unless it's some rerun of production, there's no new production happening right now. Right now, as far as the unions are concerned, SAG-AFTRA and other unions, they have worked out what they call a white paper with all of these different things they're going to have for safe production. But it hasn't been finalized yet, so a lot of the things you're seeing now was shot months and months ago and are being released now, or they're reruns, because that's the best we can do right now until we have a safe way to do new production. So, so you're using your phone. So when you're looking at these, at some of these talk show hosts and people like that, you hear some of the wilds. It sounds like they're in a cave sometimes, or like they're talking through a transistor radio or whatever it is. Sound is so important. Lighting and sound are two things that could turn a person off that is watching your self-tape, especially for an audition. So you want to make sure you have excellent lighting and excellent sound. So I use the digital recorder with the microphone, lavalier mic. I plug into the digital recorder, and that way I can have redundant quality sound. And then when I edit, if you can get a hold of some editing software, which is really great, editing software, I use Power Director. Power Director, probably Power Director 15 or 16 is constantly going up. But I use I think iPhone has iMovie editing software. You can go in there and edit, and when I edit, what I'll do is I'll have the sound from the digital recorder going underneath here, and the sound from the video, I'll clip that off, cut that out, and slide my quality sound from my digital recorder up and kind of sync it with the video, and then I have my quality sound right there. And to make sure I have the right thing, what I'll do is, as I'm recording, and that will make a spike that I'll see when I'm editing. That'll help me line up the sound and sync the sound up with the video. So those are some of the things you can do. I'm saying these are just the basics. I know there's a lot we're throwing at you. And by the way, these kinds of things that I'm talking about now, editing, syncing up sound, are things that we discuss and learn at Speak TV Media Masters all the time. So just not, I'm just saying, you want to join Speak TV Media Masters and get the full out education for a reasonable fee, little to nothing, trust me. And we are meeting through Zoom as we're doing now until we can meet in person again. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what you want to do to make sure you have quality sound. You can use a digital recorder. Okay, so now you're going to begin your recording. You're ready to do your self-tape. You've decided what you're going to do. Now you can memorize it. If it's a self-tape for an audition, you definitely are not wanting, you don't want to be looking at the script. Okay, you don't want to have to do that. You want to be into the camera. You want to be engaging with the character. I love you. What do you mean? I hate you back, and you're mama. So those are the things you want to be able to do. So you need to be off book in terms of what you want to do. And those, again, Speak TV Media Masters is a Toastmasters club. So we also deal with professional speaking and public speaking, the rudiments of those, so that you can learn how to perform. The technology can only take you so far. At some point in time, you're going to have to stand and deliver yourself. So we coach and train and evaluate public speaking and professional speaking at Toastmasters. So if there's one nearby you, I advise you to join Toastmasters, so that once you get all your equipment and all your doodads and bells and whistles, that you'll be able to stand and deliver with succinct speaking and organized structure to your delivery And if you want to learn acting, there's coaching, which I'm a coach, performance coach myself, to help you in terms of learning how to deliver what you need to deliver. Because if you face it, I mean, if you're not a trained actor, this stuff just doesn't come to you like that. Okay, like they said, public speaking is like number one in terms of the greatest fears. Like really, over death, public speaking. I get it. So those are one of the things you want to do so that when you are about to do your self-tape, you can deliver with confidence and with skill sets, okay? So one of the things you want to do too, make sure if you have any props that you're going to use, that you've already organized your props so that you're not fumbling around like, okay, just a minute, I got the thing with the thing. You know, you're able to say, yes, and that's why I always do. Sure, I use glasses, and the glasses I use are these glasses right here. And I always have them here available for me so that I can do what I need to do when I want to do it. But then again, sometimes I'll have to check with my cell phone, you know, so you got the props already set down, ready for you to use, okay? So make sure you have your props organized. And again, decide how you're going to play it. Straight to camera, going to play to the audience as if there's a whole bunch of people. Yes, you know, whatever it is, you're standing, maybe you're sitting like I am, or maybe you're just standing. You know, whichever one, make that decision before you even begin your performance, okay? Also, too, you can do it over. Do-overs, that's cool. Do as many takes as you want, not only so that you can get the best quality out of your performance, but also so that you can get the practice over and over. Eben de macht den Meister. Practice makes the master, right? So do it over and over and over until you are totally satisfied that you have the best take that you want to submit. Okay? Now, you've got everything going. Equipment, camera, sound, action. You're performing, you deliver it. You did 23 takes. Yeah, or more. So you've done them. And you're finally satisfied or fed up. Either way, you're finished. And now you need to get your product to your audience, to the auditor, to the HR that you're interviewing for. How would you do that? Well, there are several ways to do that. One, once you have recorded your video, it should be in an MP4 format. You have the video, okay? You can upload that video to WeTransfer, excuse me. WeTransfer, Google it. WeTransfer is the way that because you can't do it on your email. The videos are too large. You won't be able to do it in an email. But you can do it through WeTransfer, W-E, big E, W, capital W, capital E, transfer. Google it. You look at WeTransfer, and you can submit up to 2 gigs for free. Okay, but above that, there's a small financial consideration. Okay, so with and most of your self tapes shouldn't be any more than a couple of minutes. Okay, 2 to 3 minutes. That should get you well within the 2 gigabyte range. So you can submit that through WeTransfer. Then they'll receive it as, once they get a notice from WeTransfer, it'll say you have 7 days to open up this submission to you, this MP4. They'll have the actual MP4 to do with as they wish. Okay. Another way you can do it that I do sometimes when I don't have particular restrictions of demanding that I submit an MP4, I'll make a YouTube link. I'm sure you have a YouTube. If you have a phone, you probably have a YouTube because of Google. You probably have a YouTube account that you probably haven't used yet. Upload it to YouTube, to your YouTube account. Make it unlisted. If it's unlisted, then only you and the people you send it to can see it, okay? So make it unlisted, submit it, label it, submit it, and then you can get a share link, and then you can email it. You can email the link, no problem, to as many people as you want. So you can do it through YouTube link. The other way is Dropbox. Dropbox takes large media that you can send to people if they have a Dropbox account. And then of course there's Gmail. Okay, so you have that on your G drive. This is a G drive. When you have those like little dots in Google and you click those dots and these things, it'll drop down and it'll say G Drive, YouTube, and all those things. You go to your G Drive, you can upload, again, up to 50 gigs for free into your G Drive, and you can make a link with it and send it to someone via email, okay, or Gmail. So those are the ways that you can submit it, your finished product. So those are the basics of self-tape.